everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Mehran, and I have a channel on YouTube called The One Point. And of course, I have a channel on TikTok, and we are having a live stream concurrently running with YouTube right now. So you guys are here, and our YouTube friends are also joining us as we speak. So on this live stream, we usually talk about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego. We talk about relationships, breakups, why you feel the way you do, why you feel so devastated, what are the games that your psyche plays with you while you're going through the breakup, and what happens that you don't want to go on, so to speak, in as far as your studies are concerned, or your job, or your regular functions in life, and you become depressed, and so on and so forth. So we'll discuss these, and also we expand into neuroscience of habits and talking about effects and the roots of OCD and OCD subsets such as HOCD and other OCD related matters such as intrusive thoughts, repetitive thoughts, negative thoughts, and so on, and how to understand the components of the brain involved in this glitch, in this malfunction and disorder. And we speak and quote studies done by well-known scientists and psychologists such as Dr. Schwartz and his four steps, famous four steps. We use that in order to help people who want to move on and rewire their brain through neuroplasticity. We discussed that. And also experiences such as Dr. Speary, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Leibit, and how brilliant their experience has been in showing that you're not the brain and brain is not you. And hence that will help to make it easier for you to go forward and rewire your brain when you are suffering from OCD and OCD subsets. So having said that, we are going to wait for the first questions of that sort: relationship, breakups, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, OCD, OCD subsets, intrusive thoughts, and so on. And then we'll get on with it. So I would like to ask everybody, just like our friends on YouTube, when they join, there are simple things they do. They simply say hello if they want to say hello, but they signify their presence by three little things: gender, age, and where they're tuning in from. M for male, F for female, or however you signify your gender, and then the age that you are. So that tells me where you are in the stage of life and how I may address you. So it would be a better communication. And at the same time, we would like to know where you come from, where you're watching this program. So it will help me to know a little bit about your cultural background. So again, that helps us to know who we're speaking to and what channel we should be speaking to every one of you. So if you don't mind, just let me know age, gender, where you're tuning, like M37, and I don't know, France or wherever, India. On that note, it's a bit warm here, although it's cold out there. I wonder how the weather is where you guys are from, but it's cold tonight. Relatively. It was snowing earlier. Let's see who we have here. We have Valence female, F34, Montreal, Canada. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, mademoiselle, for that brilliant introduction. F34, Montreal, Canada. And Valence says it's -4 in Montreal. Well, we have, it's not too cold here compared to Montreal. We are accustomed to be, -17, minus. When I moved to this country, that was 44 years ago. And right here in North Vancouver, West Vancouver, it was -17. I've seen it -24 as well. When I would go skiing in Whistler and all that, it was like minus, I don't know, 24, -30 sometimes. -17 was a regular thing. But we haven't seen it as much, since recent past. So we're okay with 3 degrees, which it is right now, and I'm bitching about it. But it's just 3. It's not that cold. But we're not accustomed to it since we haven't had it for a while. It was snowing today when I was at the care center visiting my mom, which I do that every day, it was snowing and raining mixed, but then no snow on the grounds. It's all gone. So who do we have here? Sia. See, if you guys just want to be a name to me, then there would be no connection really. I don't know who these people are, where they are, age, gender, which country, no demographics, not how far we're reaching. So help me out by when you join, just say hello, and then just like uh, Valence says F34 Montreal, Canada. Female, 34, Montreal. So I know a little bit about her background, age and gender, and that's helpful. Now, if you want to add the temperature where you are, that would be nice too. And it's always lovely when the TikTok friends completely ignore what I say. And that's their way. There are 490 people here, and every single one of them ignored what I requested. So, all right, then we'll get to that. When you guys ask a question, I'll ignore it, no problems, because that's the fee you pay in order to get your question answers by actually letting me know a bit about yourself, which is limited to gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. And P joined, and of course, user 5624996131857. That takes about 2 days just to say that you joined, but thank you for joining. Appreciate it. And Jarrett is here. I don't know anything about Jarrett, but it sounded very powerful. Just to say it. All right. Now, would anybody gonna honor what I asked and just add to your information a hello and a gender where you're tuning in from? TikTok friends. There we go. Aptin. God bless you. At least we got one person who has no hearing problem. Says hello, male 34. The Middle East. Oh my goodness, welcome. Welcome. Where in Middle East? Ahlan wa sahlan. Is that make sense to you? Are you from one of the Arab countries that I can practice my limited Arabic with you? You know, we used to have to take Arabic in school, and it was tough. It was tough. It was tough like hell. It was tougher than French. Their language is so perfectly positioned in everything you want to say. Forget about la lo in French. This thing has all kinds of, and we couldn't figure it out. We were lucky just to get, I don't know, 7 to pass out of maximum 20 score. I did get a 7, of course, but it was terrible. It was interesting, but hard to learn the grammar for me. And we have hi for the first time. Hey for the first time. Okay, hey for the first time. Join. Thank you. But don't forget age, gender, where you're tuning in from. That's what I need to know a little bit about you, to connect with you, to know where you are, who you are. And that little bit, I think we all deserve to know. Okay, here I start with me, male, 68, and Vancouver, Canada, West Vancouver, Canada. How about that? No, no takers. TikToks don't like me. They don't listen. Only one person was able to accommodate what I asked. All right, all right. My turn will come. All right. Any questions? So we have Rai Sensei. Oh, okay. So 27 male and from California. Thank you for that. Looks to me that tonight YouTube friends are a little bit more willing to adhere to simple requests, such as introducing themselves to let me know who they are, where they are, and how old they are. So, anybody who has the first question, you can just fire up and we'll get the conversation going. Again, we've got over 490 people here on TikTok, but none of them are here. In other words, they don't listen to anything I said, because none of them, other than one that was Abtin, who actually let us know how old he is and where he's from, what gender he has, and that was brilliant. Mhm. Ah, there is one. Ailiawi. Ailiai, what, how am I butchering your name? I guess it's double A, so stands for Liaia. Okay, fine. It's a tongue twist. It's female, 15 Canada. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. But I hope you have permission from your parents to be here because this is a little bit of a mature um, content. So I hope that you have that permission. Otherwise, I don't want to introduce things that you might not be ready or interested to hear. However, it's up to you. If you have that permission, please let me know, and I'd be grateful that you shared that with me. So I feel comfortable because we'd be speaking things that you it might not be of interest to you or at the appropriate age for you. Uh, and Abtin is 34 from Middle East. Thank you for that. And no one else has offered that information as I requested. So, and we have no question. We can sit here and I can drink my tea and we just look at each other if you like. But if you have a question, fire up. So we have Ray says, no problem. I have a dilemma. He says, I was in a relationship where I was respectful and loyal. And because of that, my girlfriend questioned my sexuality. Excuse me. She believed I should check out females outside of her. Females outside of her? You mean other females? And Rai says, self conscious, ever since I've felt self conscious, and it messed with my head really. Well, you can't necessarily be uh, so easily suggestion prone. In other words, you have too much respect for people and what people think or say, and not enough confidence for your own opinions and whatever it is about you, that you get some kind of an affected by any suggestion, no matter how far-fetched and stupid it may be, which in your case, obviously, it's been very out of line and a stupid comment that she made just because you did not want to rush having sex with her and respected her boundaries. And instead, she turned out and uttered something stupid out of place. But you can't hold people responsible for what and how they react or act or what they say. That's on them. You can't control the world to turn the way you want it to be, expecting appropriate behavior from others. It's unreasonable while it is logical because we want to be reasonable and appropriate. But you need to be able to handle or act or react to the outside incomings rather than expecting the outside incomings become not coming and just being so appropriate that you don't have any challenge on. I can't stop people from saying what they want to say. I can't stop people from behaving the way they do. I have to be able to handle it because there is no way in the world you can expect people to do the right things. I remember one day when my father was alive, may he rest in peace. My father was very educated. He had a PhD in law and he spoke 6 languages, and he was very well read. And he was a politician at one stage of his life and or always versed about what was happening around the world and the politics of it and so on. I learned a lot from him. One time, I had just returned from university in the States back home, which was Persia at the time. And I happened to be his chauffeur at the time. That day, he allowed me to drive. And actually, he was enjoying the fact that he didn't have to. And as we were going on the main widened road, the main road, there was alleys branching into this main road, and there was one car that came out of the alley, out of turn, and kind of blocked me a little bit. And I stopped and I started looking at the guy for a bit. And my father turned around and says, "What is it, son? You want to train the world? Just move on." He did what he did, and it's your right away. And whether he notices or not, you just continue on rather than trying to purposely give him a lesson or give him a frown or trying to train him to behave or consider or judge properly. That's not your place. You do what you got to do. You did stop, be safe, and now you go. And I remember that. And I did another spooky, now this one wasn't spooky, another spooky experience in my life when I was much younger and I was visiting home. And that was really spooky. Some unexpected individual at certain time of the day that I was meditating in an empty park. When I opened my eyes, there was nobody there. It was early morning, 6 o'clock. Nobody was there. But then he was there, and we had a conversation. That was pretty spooky. So, but both of them, in a way, they were saying the same thing. And the gist of it is that you don't have a mission to teach or share your knowledge with others. You say it once. If they're interested, they will stick around, they ask for more. If they're not, you just simply pass on. You have no desire, you should have no mission or thing, you have no responsibility to make them see the point or understand. So, same thing with you. You can't expect others to behave or utter or give you kudos or what you deserve as far as your behavior and gentlemanliness and so on to be. They can be just assholes. They can just not understand enough. They just be of different echelon, expecting somebody to just grab them, throw them on the bed, and do whatever they want to do. That's their request, but you have to agree with it too. And you're not uh, interested in that right at the outset. Who knows? Maybe later if you want to, have this arrangement between the two. But your appropriateness, your properness, is what you should focus on rather than what the hell she was uttering about. So, having said that, and Murat says, love from Nigeria. Love you back. Thank you very much. And we have, after something, Alfred, sorry. Alfred says, love from Canada. Oh, love back from West Coast. But guys, do you hear me at all? Is it not possible for you TikTok friends to include your age, gender, and where you tuning in from? In other words, M for male, F for female, or however you choose to signify your gender, age, and which place you're watching this program with. Three things, like what we have, our friends have done here. M27 California, male 27 California. That tells me a lot. And puts me at ease to know who I'm talking about. Or our friend here was saying female F15 Canada. So then I would be able to advise her to have permission from parents, and this is a sort of a more mature age program, and so at least I would have done my due diligence and help people to feel comfortable where they are. And Jesse is here, and thank you for that, Jesse. I appreciate that. Female 38 Canada, F38 Canada, and thank you so much. My goodness, I cannot believe, first time in my life, in the 13 years of the YouTube channel, we have so many Canadians on one of my programs. We usually don't. It's either from Europe, UK, Germany, France, Sweden, Switzerland, or we have it from Middle East, or we have it from India, all these places, but never from Canada. United States a lot, but tonight is our lucky day. It's home yard. And we have user 81013939614. Didn't want to butcher your name. If that's your name, female 14 Canada. Dear, you're 14 years old. This is a bit too advanced in a way of too mature, rather adult program. So I wish you have permission from your parents, or one of your parents is sitting there, guide you if you like. This is not necessarily for your age. It'll be maybe not interesting to you or too early for you to be here, unless it's something that is okay with your household, with your parents' guardians. And Susan is here, female 64 Canada. Thank you for that, Susan. I appreciate that. And Jesse says, I just stumbled upon you. Where are you from? I'm from Canada, Vancouver. Unless you're asking what is the origin of me and my birthplace, that's a different question. And Susan says nothing for now. So we'll go to YouTube and see what we have here. And Valence says, I have one question says, why do the intrusive thoughts attack when I'm having a good time or when I'm spending time with someone I love? Because brain is not smart. There is no intelligence center that could be localized in the brain. So if you expect the brain to actually make the difference, no, it just makes these utterings based on its malfunction. You see, in midbrain basal ganglia, there is a place called the striatum. It has three centers on its own, but beside that, there's another lever there called caudate nucleus. Caudate nucleus designed to shut down the intrusive thoughts. When it malfunctions, it doesn't do its job. So intrusive thoughts show up, and it usually shut down and they decimate, they go away. But when it's malfunctioning, that lever is not really working, that uttering, that suggestion, that intrusive thoughts hovers, doesn't dissipate. And because it hovers, it bothers you. You think, oh, it must mean something. It must be pertaining me. But all it is a malfunction of the lever that is supposed to take care of these things, which is not in line with your values. It's similar to a automatic gear shift in a car. When you actually are moving along with your car, driving it, it goes. It changes gear automatically. But when it doesn't, it sounds like this. And so that's the time you got to grab onto, so to speak, the actual gear shift manually and place it into the actual where it's supposed to go to change the gear manually. Now, in the case of caudate nucleus, which is a lever that is supposed to do automatic, gear shift changes, which means shutting down what needs to be shut down and leaving you focus on what you want to focus because those things are irrelevant, and it recognizes the brain's going wacko and tries to correct it. When it doesn't, you're supposed to help the brain to rewire itself through neuroplasticity, which is through the four steps of Dr. Schwartz and other gold standards for taking care of the OCD and intrusive thoughts. And then you are able to bring caudate nucleus back online to its default setting. So when it comes on, it's not because it was planned. Oh, he's having a good time. Let me attack him. No, it's going to attack you at any time because it is a malfunction there. Now, often we are trying to enjoy what we're doing and it will attack anytime. And its roots are different places. And one is that the amygdala, which is responsible to saying emotional danger signals, but when it goes wacko, it sends emotional danger signals when there is none, just to protect you, but it's overactive and keeps sending in signals for no reason. And you feel that, and then prefrontal cortex says, oh my goodness, there's a danger signal that's coming. I got to give it a narrative. Otherwise, it will mean nothing. So it says, what can I give it? What is dangerous to this person? His sexuality. Obviously, it's the most important thing to every human being. So it says, I'm going to attack that, give it a narrative about it according to that. So therefore, this danger signal will match something that to him it makes sense. They're all trying to protect you, but they just don't have the intelligence to know that, listen, you give an alarm, you bring my attention to something that is not interesting to me, that's good enough. You keep doing it, it's annoying. That's when you got to go and try to learn and educate yourself about OCD, intrusive thoughts, and how to rewire the brain. All right. Having said that, I hope that's helpful to you. And Jesse says, nope, just asking what country you're into. Canada, exactly where you are, Susan. But I am in the West Coast. And Jesse says, love the Canadian content. Okay, good. And so how do I get rid of intrusive thoughts? I just explained. I didn't see your question, but I just explained, which you can actually, well, it's a lot involved. I can't really completely explain everything. I just explained a portion of what happens and how you can do that. But by all means, I have many videos. I have about 3,000 videos on the YouTube channel of mine. The YouTube channel is called The One Point, THE, next word ONE, next word point, POINT. The One Point. And so you can go on my search engine of my channel and just put in intrusive thoughts or intrusive, and then see what comes in. And I've got probably hundreds, maybe five, six, seven, 800 videos that it explains what intrusive thought is, how it shows up, what to do with it, and so on and so forth. And if you guys ever wanted to discuss this one-on-one privately with me, you know that I have a site called mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. You can make an appointment and we'll have a discussion one-on-one on what's concerning you on Skype. So that can happen from all over the world, and that's what I do. That's my profession. That's what I love to do, the research of it, and helping people to understand the inner movement of their psyche. If it's about relationship breakups, what components of the brain, what are the games that your brain is playing, how you should understand it and diffuse it, and what to do in order to move yourself on from that onward from that particular experience and get your happiness and balance back again. Or if it's about OCD, intrusive thoughts, what are the components of the brain involved in that and how we can rewire the brain and so on. And we'll discuss that privately, one-on-one on Skype. And please don't forget, be like Bonnie, if you will. Like the live if you like, because unless we have so many likes, the algorithm doesn't recognize us. That's how I've been really missing out on YouTube. Out of 13 years of having a channel on YouTube, we only have 28,000 subscribers. When people find our channel, they swear by it. They say, we've never seen content that addresses these issues as eloquently, I have to blow my own horn, and as completely. And it's not a tease to get something sold or anything. It's all explained thoroughly in those videos, whatever the topic may be. But we're not found. Something I'm doing wrong that we don't know how to get this out there. There are 50 million channels, if not more, and so we're lost in them. And I'm not that kind of a genius to really figure out how to play with the algorithm. If you guys can promote these channels, go ahead. I'd appreciate it. And Jesse says, follow the live create. Oh, thank you very much, Jesse. And says some comments in live were filtered to protect the community. Oh, I hate when this happens because it's none of their business to protect the community. What community experience? Everybody's here is alive, I'm sorry, adult, alive and adult, and they could decide, and I could decide if it's appropriate or not. Why do they have to have a community rule? For what sake? If somebody used one word in there that is not appropriate, then suddenly the hell has broken loose. Let's see what else we have here. We have Valence says, I have a question. Why do intrusive? Okay, I already addressed that. Valence says, thank you so much. You're quite welcome. Says, super helpful. You're quite welcome. Stephen is here. Male 43, Los Angeles. Thank you for that, Stephen, as usual. Says, good evening, Mehran. Good evening, Stephen. Where have you been? I was thinking about you yesterday, but I presume that you're doing good and everything's hunky-dory. So what else do we have here? Juliet says, are you cut or uncut? BAE? I don't understand what that is. Could someone help me? What does that mean? Are you cut or uncut? BAE. I don't know what that means. All right. And Super has joined. Thank you for that. We have no questions from our TikTok friends other than the ones that we already handled. And all right, let's see what we have here. Steven says, I'm doing much better. Good. You better do better. Otherwise, the ugly stick will come out. Get on a plane, come over there, knock on your door, and bash you on the head with the ugly stick and say, get on with your life. Then I'll fly back. Very expensive, but personal, personal delivery. All right. And Rai Sensei says, right, right. That makes sense. I also went through a spell where whenever I see other males that you would deem handsome, I'd get anxiety and then fall into a cycle of overthinking the reasoning. Yeah, well, there's no reasoning. Human being is actually accustomed to like good-looking things, and we notice them. We like to be good-looking ourselves, and we notice other good-looking people. One might feel jealous, one might feel anxiety, one might feel, oh, he's jeopardizing my right with the girls because he's better looking, he'll have a better chance, and it, kind of jeopardizes my chances. So those feeling gives you anxiety, and many other things that we've talked about it in hundreds of videos on channel. But here, of course, there wouldn't be enough time to start and justifiably properly end the conversation. But just don't give it up. There's of course ways to overcome the intrusive thought, but there's a way to handle it which is very shortcut about it, and that is say the famous magic word or whatever. Just don't try to interpret anything. Do not try to interpret thoughts. Look, we have lived for millions of years. I don't know how many years, but let's call it a million years. And only 40,000 years ago, we were given this brain as sophisticated as it is. Until then, we were living on instinct. Nothing. No capability of thinking, no capability of speaking. It was all instinct. Basic brain, like animals, running, hunting, sleeping, eating, having sex, and no questions. Why? Because there was no thoughts capability. No speaking. Words didn't have meanings to deviate or encourage or bring any kind of a thoughts. Thoughts are the roots of all problems. So all these modern psychological problems, certain amount of it, is due to this thinking business and the malfunction of the brain, which is a new and work in progress. It's a new brain. It's not a complete brain. It has glitches, all kind. The problem is that when we get a glitch or a malfunction in any other part of organs in our body, we recognize it. You get a diarrhea, you say, well, diarrhea. You don't say, oh, maybe diarrhea has always been me and I never knew about it. No, you don't say that. You just say, well, something's wrong. I gotta maybe have rice and yogurt or maybe Imodium and get rid of this and fix it to help it. You will get in charge to help it and to recognize this problem, or your kidney or your liver. You go to the doctor and try to figure it out. But once something comes up like this, intrusive thoughts, or the brain comes up with all these delusions and illusions and all that, you say, oh, that must be me. I never knew it. And all my life I've been this and I've been denied. Not necessarily. So these are the things you got to understand, that you're not the brain, and brain is not you. The brain was added on top of you when you had already lived a million years. So there was a you before the brain, and brain was added onto you as an apparatus to help you to do things better, or so to speak. But it has its own problems of malfunctions. So you're not the brain. Brain is not you. So what happens to your brain? What it does, it's not representing you. It's just representing a machine that is gone haywire. And you got to learn to be kind to your brain and help it to rewire and fix itself, repair itself. Take responsibility for it. Stephen says, I stopped overthinking for the next time I run into that girl at work. I've been staying really busy but get lonely at times. So who doesn't? It's part of our life. We all have so many people around us, and everybody's lonely because everybody's after trying to prove something. The girls try to be a little bit overly, I don't know, cautious, and sometimes for the wrong people are not cautious at all. They just go, right into a very intimate relationship, and then with the right guy, they're just who knows. So that's part of life that we live in, and don't worry about it. And so we don't have any more. We have 1,100 viewers here on TikTok and no questions. Well, then, okay. So let's see on the YouTube channel up front. Hmm. And user 81013939614 followed the live creator. Thank you for that. Long name, my friend. All right. And that's funny. It's we've been having people joining like crazy, but suddenly stopped. I still have to learn these mm, signs on this beside the comments, like A1. What does A1 mean? Or no, it's not A1. It's in flag and one. Let's see. Let's push it and see what happens. It says reply to Jesse. Pin this comment. Oh, I see. Mute account, block account, report, cancel. I see. These are the options that one can have. That's beside everybody. Oh, but some don't have it. Like for example, user 81013939614 doesn't have this. Oh, because it's 14-year-old. Maybe it did. No. Yeah, maybe that's why. Oh, I see. Maybe it's you have to be 18. I don't understand it. I don't know why some have it. Like Jaden joined, but they don't have this option. Maybe because they didn't make a comment, possibly. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyhow, and Julia joined. Thank you for that. Okay, guys, if you don't need me, if you don't have any questions, I can do other things and make some editing videos and maybe watch a movie or something. All right, change the scenery. Let's see what we have in here. All right, we have Kobe. Kobe. You know, I have been to Kobe, Japan. In fact, I don't know how you use that, chose that call sign, but I visited Kobe before it was hit by that huge earthquake. So smoking weed causes me to overthink. Don't smoke it, and have anxiety attacks along with OCD. All right. I feel that if you have OCD, you can't enjoy alcohol or nothing. It it feel as it feel as if OCD can suck the joy out of you and life. Yeah, OCD is a shitty thing, but you know, there's enough education and science about it that you can simply help yourself and clean up the brain's malfunctioning or disorder. So the good news is that they've done so much research and so much information about OCD, and um, cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT), or uh, other ways such as the four steps of Dr. Schwartz, or exposure response. These are all ways that you can get rid of that or help yourself. So it's not like the old times. I went through OCD since childhood, all kinds of OCD, God knows. And I didn't know that you're supposed to do something about it. I just went through with it. Like, just to touch the light switch 100 times just to make sure my father doesn't die, or do something, I don't know, touch the four corners of the tile when I was walking, make sure my exam will be okay, or such and such girl will like me. All these, barter deals that you do with some kind of a watcher or observer that you think it's got the almighty power that is aware of what you do and what you want, all those things, it stems from the need for psychological security, which is never attainable. But at most ages, we don't know that. So we try to make some kind of a deal, some kind of a barter deal, some kind of a, exchange, and to create a balance in our belief that this is going to happen this way. If I touch that one more time, and it's going to happen the other way. If I don't, it's not symmetric numbers. All these things. I used to line up things on the table, making sure everything is in line. All these needed my attention at a certain age to say, this is crazy. I got to figure this out. Then I did. It took me 2 years without knowing any of these knowledge, a long time ago, that I reprogrammed myself by just not even knowing about any of these things. I'm talking about God knows how many years ago. But having come up with these scientific research and these findings and these educations, makes it much easier for people who are going through that, and to be able to help them to have a good quality of life. And Katerichoka, okay, I hope I didn't butcher your name. Says, hi, Mehran. Male 34, Sofia, Bulgaria. Oh, welcome. And this is, wrote you a couple of streams ago for leaving my toxic GF of 1.5 years relationship. I'm doing pretty well, not hurting too much, but during the night, some thoughts of her with someone new sleep and distresses me. Doing good. Okay, why would it distress you? You think she's not going to sleep with anybody else just because you don't want to? If that was the case, and she would do what you wanted to, she would never leave, or she would never behave the way she did for you to kind of ask her to leave, or however, whoever initiated it. But you need to understand that you're looking at it with the eye of the need, not the eye of the logic. Logically, you decided, having been in relation with her, that she's not your cup of tea. But your eye of the need, which includes intimacy and sexuality, and your need for uh, retaining that order of life that you had with her, which I explained what the order of life is, and what really most people miss after they break up is not the other partner. The reason for pain and discomfort is not necessarily the lack of presence of the other partner. It's actually the lack of maintaining and following and having the old order of life that she happened to be part of it. And because she no longer in that relationship, the whole routine of daily routine of life, the order of life has fallen apart. And brain doesn't find security in the same way that the physical portion of our entity finds security. I feel secure physically when I'm in the safe physical environment. I'm in my own apartment, and the door is locked. I'm in a good part of town. Therefore, physical environment is safe. I feel physically safe. But my mind, I call mind and brain the same for this conversation, but mind and brain are not the same. So please be attentive to that. So, but our mind doesn't find security the same way that the body finds security. So in a safe, secure environment, physical environment, mind is not actually feeling secure. Mind finds security in the order of life, in the routine of life. And when that routine is broken, which in the case of a broken relationship, the routine is broken, the things that you guys were doing together, getting up, texting each other, or saying hello, if you're living together or not, there were things that you were doing together. You have your breakfast, or meet each other, have breakfast, or go to school, and after that, or go to work, and after that, meet each other for dinner or for gym or for any outing. These things that you were doing were creating a routine. The routine was creating an order in your life. Now that one of you is not, they're not together, the order is broken, and the brain doesn't have the order that it needs to find security in it. For that reason, while it still needs the order, is trying to look for the order. Can't find in the actual life, because in the actual life, the relationship is broken. Where can it find? In the memory, because we record things 24/7. We record things. So brain goes into the memory and sees the whole order, routine. Everything was always there as it always was. So it starts mingling and remaining in the memory. That's why you keep wanting to remember how things were and reminisce on how things were. And while you're in the memory and enjoying your routine and security, the brain does, what else is there? She's there, or he's there, whatever your situation is. And when that happens, it triggers the desire file, because in order for desire to be born, we've discussed in one of the many of the videos, there are prerequisites for desire to be taken place, and that prerequisite have already been met in the past when you guys desired each other, and it's recorded. So when the brain sees her or him in the memory while it's trying to feel secure, it triggers the memory file of the desire, prerequisites for desire. And then the brain doesn't know the difference between virtuality and actuality, feels that, the prerequisite for desire is met. Now I desire her again. Now you miss her. Despite of all the problems that you cause you to break it off, you miss that because the desire file has been renewed. And you don't realize that, brain doesn't realize that this is just a virtuality, and takes it as in actuality you should miss her. Then you go nuts. You keep thinking about her. You want to call her. You want to reach out, because you're no longer thinking about the reasons that you guys broke up. You're only thinking about the fact that the desire file has been reconnected, has been reissued, and you're now pursuing that what desire is all about. Now tell me if you actually hear these things from another channel. I guess not. I'm sure not. Now, what is it? We've stopped it. 1.1 thousand. All right. Now, having said that, says of her and some, okay. Says doing good. Thanks to your videos. Wanted to mention. Oh, okay, great. Thank you very much for mentioning that. And Miyamoto is here. Miyamoto says, please reply to my question. Miyamoto, where's your question? I don't see your question. Where's your question? You don't have a question. You're not. That's the first message I see from you. What question are you talking about? Miyamoto. And remember, guys, I can answer your questions in live streams. That's what we are here to help you, especially if you don't wish or can't or unable to make an appointment on Skype and have a one-on-one session with me to consult you regarding your breakups or OCD or whatnot. But I cannot turn the comment section into a consulting section, because it's too much writing, too much typing, takes too much space and too much time. And there are so many others who are asking the same. So I'd be sitting around and spending all day just to respond to comments as a consultation rather than just recognizing what you wanted to say. And that defeats the whole purpose of ability to survive the channel. We still need to have the business run as it is. That's why I put the free things, the videos, and the live streams for your comfort and convenience. But then if there is more need, then we got to go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, make an appointment, so we'll be able to discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype in good time and in detail. And for 1 hour registration of consultation or chat, I usually add, for the first timers, half an hour extra, just so we don't have to rush, get to know each other, get to know the background, and then we go from there. I don't necessarily run by time for minute here, minute there, or so on, but it is important for us to be able to sustain the channel, to have enough money to be able to continue this channel and advertise for it and reach out to more people to help more people. So please do understand. Otherwise, the comment, I cannot constantly respond and turn it into a consultation session. The moment you say commented on live, I don't see your comment here. I only see these ones, these three. First one says, please reply to my question. Second one says, comment on live. Third one says, before HOCD, I was like Sigma, male, bit. After HOCD, I'm sexualizing every woman to see if my body reacts. You're sexualizing every woman? I don't quite understand the question. Maybe you can help me out. I'm not quite sure what you mean by sexualizing every woman. Are you saying that they have become a lot more, taken a lot more of your attention? Are you paying more attention, or you get? I'm not quite sure. Maybe you can explain a little bit for me. Charles is here. Says 36 May, Luxembourg. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur. Comment ça aujourd'hui? I hope you're doing well. Says, I just want to say thank you for all your help. May God bless you. I thank you very much too, and I hope God bless me and you as well, and everybody else. And bless the channel, because we need more subscribers, that's for sure. So let's see what we have here. Again, some comments in live were filtered to protect oh God, I mean, you don't have to decide for the community, we decide for ourselves. And we have Donna joined, and Dave Gordon joined. Again, people who joined, please do me a favor and let us know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. M for male, F for female, or however you signify your gender, age, and which country or city you're tuning in to this program. That helps me to know a little bit about you, and that is wonderful to know what my demographics are and who I'm talking to, what level of discussion we can have, and so on. Miyamata says, I'm looking all women with bad eyes, like seeing her boobs to see my body react. Oh, I see. You're trying to see if HOCD. So what you're doing, you're trying to get assurance, and that's one thing you don't want to do. When HOCD hits you, which HOCD, stands for sexual orientation OCD, which makes you have intrusive thoughts about your own sexuality, that you like same gender and all that. So now you're going overboard trying to see if you look at the woman's boobs or any private parts, you would get aroused or not, just to make sure that you are the same Sigma man that you always wear, and so on and so forth. Don't do that. That's a trick that the HOCD plays on your brain. Don't fall for it, because then why not? There are many reasons why not. One very reason is very important. I want you all listen. Whoever is suffering from OCD, whether it's OCD or substance of OCD, such as HOCD, and religiosity OCD, harm OCD, pedophile OCD, whatever OCD is. This business of assurance seeking, it might seem a remedy for a short time. I felt good. But when you get that assurance and you say, you know what happens? The same thing happens when you feel an obsession of some kind of a OCD. Let's say you feel your hands are dirty. It's an obsession. It's not dirty, but you think it is. So you want to do the compulsion, which is washing the hand. But when you do the compulsion for the obsession, or in this case, your compulsion is to be assured, your obsession is to be assured, and then you try to get assurances by looking at the private parts of a woman, try to see if you get a rise out of, if you get a aroused, or what, to get yourself assured that you're a man, as you always been. So when you do that, you get, I feel good now, I'm assured. Or in the case of washing your hand, you wash your hands, say, okay, it's clean. So when you do that comfort, it's actually in the striatum, second circle of dopamine center, reward center, is releasing dopamine. So first circle was the goal finding center. So when you want to, let's say, get assurance, that's a goal finding. You want the goal of being assured, or you feel your obsession with washing hand. The compulsion is goal finding, that you want to wash your hands. So you do that, it affects the second circle, which is the reward finding center. The reward center is rewarding you for that comfort that you created, either assured yourself of, or you washed your hand, which is a compulsion for some kind of a obsession. And when you secrete dopamine, dopamine, you feel good. And dopamine is addictive. So after a few hundred times, you're now addictive to get the dopamine. You're no longer looking for assurance only. You're no longer looking for washing your hand, the compulsion to clean your hand because of the obsession of being dirty. You're doing it also and more so to get the dopamine, and you're not aware of it. And at the same time, all along from the first circle to the dopamine circle is being stimulated also the third circle, the habit center, which these are all on top of each other in the striatum in midbrain basal ganglia. It's being stimulated as well. So before you know it, you're not in habit of doing what that compulsion was. Not necessarily to do the compulsion because of obsession, not to do the compulsion necessarily to get the dopamine, doing it because you have it. You don't even know why you're doing it. You just know that you got to do it. Professor Anne Grable was the pioneer of the study of cluster of actions to the brain represents one action. And the simple example of it is when if you see a man or woman going to a store and buying a package of cigarette and then paying for it and then tearing up the cellophane wrapping and tearing up the rest of the package top and putting one cigarette putting on her or his lips and then flicking a lighter fire 2 inches to his 3 inches to his lips, and then you go out and say, sir, do you realize that you just went and bought and paid for it and opened the package and put a cigarette on your lips and you put a fire 2 inches from your face? He says, no, I just know I'm smoking. The brain doesn't recognize all these because it's habit. Therefore, it bypasses all those steps to recognize, to judge, make judgments about it or analyze it. It just thinks it's doing one action. So once, if you don't take care of this OCD business, as soon as you can, before you know it, it's your habit. You no longer know why you're doing it. You're just doing it. And the more you do the habit, the more it becomes part of you. And then you have to now connect it to the health effects of it on you in order to be able to kick it out, and that it has its own studies and so on and so forth. So having said that, let's see. Chloe Gray joined or followed the create. Thank you for that. And Tyan joined. Thank you for that. And if you haven't yet, please like the channel and like the program. It will help our algorithm to recognize us. And Miyamata says, I feel like if I don't do this, I will lose my attraction towards one. Yeah, that's the assurance you're seeking. Don't give a damn about it. Otherwise, HOCD is going to control your brain and it just puts you through all kind of things and more OCD and just say whatever. Okay, fine. Don't pay attention to it. And follow the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz, which I've explained 100 times to you and to others. And I have a video on it that explains complete reasons and the interpretation of the 4 steps. And then you will remind yourself what you should do rather than following the wrong thing, which is seeking assurance, which messes you up. Don't do that. And says, Jesse, we've been here already. And says, all right, we've got over 1,100 viewers, but we don't have any question from you guys, TikTok friends. And we don't have that what I have requested, the gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. All right. So be kind to me and do that, if you will, like Susan has done and like a few other friends on TikTok have done. All right, it's 59 minutes. I think perhaps it's about time for us to cut it off. Obviously, we have answered all the questions. We don't have any other question. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. Don't forget, I have a site called mindthatseekstruth.com. seekstruth.com. You can make an appointment with me for a Skype chat and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype, having to do with relationships, breakups, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, OCD subsets, and the components of the brain involved in this glitch, malfunction, disorder, and we'll discuss how we can rewire the brain through neuroplasticity using the researchers' work and so on, and help you to get your balance and your life back together as you desire it to be. So I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, like the program and share it with whoever you like and help us grow to reach more people and help more people. I love you all and see you soon. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.